All right, well, hello everybody. My name is Kazdan. I am the guild leader for Survivors Gaming Union. It's an Elder Scrolls Online guild, um, and I've created this channel and kind of created this channel, and I'm creating this video in order to kind of introduce myself, let you know what the channel is going to be about, what you're going to expect from me, where am I coming from, why am I doing this, that type of thing. So let's just get right into it. Uh, I guess the first question most people would have is, who am I? Well, I've been a gamer since 2007. I tend to play tanks. I started out playing in the late part of 2007. Started out playing Lord of the Rings Online. I transitioned from there to playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I've played some WoW. And now I am currently playing Elder Scrolls Online. Um, like I said briefly, I like to play tanks. That's kind of my wheelhouse. I like being the guy in the front, taking all the damage, taking all the abuse. Uh, kind of been a metaphor for my life, which we'll get into here in a few minutes. But uh, uh, I am a former infantry soldier in the United States Army. I did that for a little over 20 years. I'm a father, I'm a husband. Generally, what I would like to consider at this point in my life, a fairly normal, good, well-rounded person. Um, now we've talked a little bit about, who I believe myself to be. Let's talk about who I think I'm not. Um, I'm definitely not a meta gamer. Uh, I don't need to have the best of everything in game. I don't need to uh, uh, dissect my character down to the smallest detail in order to get the highest performance I can out of them. There is a benefit to doing those things. It's just not what I'm 100% interested in. I do like to push myself in game. I do like to do things that are a little more difficult, which may explain why I kind of veer towards the realm of tanking most of the time. But it's not, uh, I don't have to be the best. All I have to do or be for myself is the best that I can do in game. So that's what I want. I'm definitely, and this is a word that gets thrown around quite often, definitely not an elitist. If you're not sure, what exactly it means to be an elitist, there's another content creator for ESO. His name is NephusQS. Um, uh, and I'll put a link to his channel down in the description and to the video I'm going to refer to in particular. But he did a video about the Elder Scrolls Online and kind of recently how the community has changed a little bit. Um, what kind of led to that change, and the word elitist. What does it mean? Why do people push that word? Because it means different things to different people depending on what your focus in the game is. Uh, I'm not the one who's going to tell you that you're wrong when you're doing something in game. Uh, I I know enough to know that I don't know everything. And you can learn from everybody, whether they're younger than you, older than you, more experience in the game, less experience in the game. Everybody has a place, and everybody's voice should be listened to. Uh, if you do that, you'll find that there are a lot of people with a lot of really good ideas out there. So why am I here? Why do this channel? Why try to? Why put myself out there like this? Because the internet's it's not a friendly place. There are going to be comments in the bottom of this video that says, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He stutters a lot. He says and I do all of those things." So they won't be lies. But that's not what I want you to get out of the video. What I want you to get is a good sense of who I am, and what I'm trying to accomplish by doing this. I'm here to promote gaming. Gaming's given me a lot in my life, especially over the last 3 years, um, and I've really uh, it's really helped me kind of re-socialize myself back into the world. And I'll go over that in a minute. Kind of what my story is, but it's really benefited me greatly. I'm also here to promote my guild, Survivors Gaming Union. Uh, uh, I built it as a place for people who have uh, served either in the military or law enforcement or um, first responders, uh, paramedics, firefighters. Um, Regardless of the nation that you have done this in, um, I believe that the group of people that kind of have chosen service as their um, the main thing that they want to do in life, uh, I believe that they should have a place. And I want to provide a place for them to come and game and hang out and have fun, um, uh, and and give them an opportunity to experience what I've experienced through gaming. uh, so, what is Survivors Gaming Union? Survivors Gaming Union is a community for military, law enforcement, first responders. Like I said, anybody who has served their community or served their nation in any way, regardless of the nation in which you served in. I've served in many countries. I've been deployed to many countries, and I've always found people, no matter where you're from, there are a lot of similarities between a guy who grew up in America and a guy who grew up in the Middle East, or a guy who grew up in the Philippines or in Korea or in Germany or in Europe. You just got to talk to people to find that out. And I want to kind of promote and provide that. Um, uh, so, kind of why do this? Why create the gaming community? Why create the guild? Um, well, what gaming's done for me is it's kind of helped me re-socialize myself back into the world. When I first retired from the military about 3 years ago, I really wasn't. I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to talk to anybody that wasn't in my immediate family. I didn't want to socialize. Um, I was having issues. Things started to pop up. As the longer, I kind of lived that lifestyle of kind of sticking to myself and sticking to my house. I started to have anger problems. I started having issues with my family. I started to, not be a very nice person. It was like, there's got to be something that I can do about this. So through the Veterans Administration, I went and I sought counseling, which was hard for me to do because I'm definitely one of those people that I used to be one of those people that felt like I don't need help with anything. I'll figure it out on my own. So reaching out for help like that wasn't the easiest thing for me to do. But I did do it. And what I come to realize through therapy was, I was depressed. And I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, from some of the things that I had to do based off of the particular job that I did in the military. So I went into therapy. I started dealing with some of my issues, but that wasn't really solving everything for me. The therapy wasn't the end-all, be-all. I would... I'd have problems going out in public. Problems talking to people at times, kind of expressing myself. I'm still not, as you can tell from this video, extremely good at expressing myself. I hope through this experience I get better at that. That's kind of one of my goals of doing this, is to kind of put myself out there and kind of, work on how I express myself and how I communicate. But for me, when I got back into gaming after I retired, I initially did it uh, as a way just to to eat away at the day. How can I make this day go by as fast as possible so I can go to bed? Um, which, you know, was my goal for every day. Avoid as much stuff as I could during the day, and go to sleep, and then wake up and figure out how to avoid the next day. Um, uh, and so, I started gaming, kind of started doing that, and I found ESO. ESO kind of allowed me to do really whatever I wanted to do, because you can play the game and kind of do it on your own. You don't, if you want to solo everything, you can solo everything. I mean, you don't have to grow up. You don't have to do dungeon content. You don't have to do certain things in the game in order to experience everything. A lot of the things that the game has to offer. So I basically started out that way. But inevitably, in a game with the number of people in it that ESO has, you're going to start bumping into people. You're going to have to talk to people at some point. And I found a community who I kind of felt a little comfortable with, and I started talking a little bit more. I got into Discord. When I first got into the Discord, I really didn't talk, but every once in a while I would say something. People actually listened to me. People talked to me, and it kind of helped me re-socialize myself. That combined with my therapy it has helped me come really far in a short amount of time, versus the path that I was on, which had no place to go but down. Um, um, so it helped me get out of my depression. It wasn't the only thing, but it was definitely a factor in helping me get out of depression and helping me deal with my PTSD. And the way I look at PTSD is this: it's kind of like being an alcoholic. When you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. You can never have a drink again. Um, uh, and every day is a battle. It's the same for me with PTSD. Every day is a battle. Um, every day I have to try my best to keep my emotions in check, to keep my anger in check, to keep myself on an even keel. I'm not a huge fan of medication. I don't want to do that, but and so far I've been able to stay off of things like that. But it definitely has helped me. Once I started to feel better and started to get better and started to, kind of reintegrate myself back into society, my life got better. My relationship with my family got better. I started making friends. I started talking more while I was in game. I started, communicating and doing more things and have had more experiences. And I started to think, how could I do that for someone else? Uh, uh, I wanted to do something, but I didn't quite know what to do. What would I do? Um, I'm nobody really. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm not an expert in anything. I can't provide guidance to people and things like that. This is what I was thinking. I was thinking, I what do I have to offer people? But I've had this feeling inside like I have to help, like I have to do something. So I thought, well, what do I do in my world? I game. I like gaming. Okay. Part of every game I've ever played is there's always some form of group, whether it be a Ken in Lord of the Rings Online, or guilds, or communities. So I'll develop one of those. Who am I going to develop it for? Well, I want to develop it for people that are like me. People that have served their community or served their nation. So that's why I thought, I would open it up for military, first responders, law enforcement, people like that. Okay, so I create the guild in game. I don't, I throw some guild stuff out there, but I kind of didn't really do much with it. and I sat on the guild for about a year, being mainly the only member of the guild. uh, and I thought, I kind of got to push this thing a little bit further because this is not what I wanted to do with it. Um, and once I started playing ESO more consistently over the last like 4 months, um, I've started promoting more, and I've started recruiting, and I've started doing content, and you know, I want to provide this opportunity for people to experience what I've experienced. If you're going through issues in your life, and you need a place to forget about those issues for a little while, come and play with us. Um, Come and join our team, and we'll be there if you need someone to talk to, or we'll be there if you you just want to jump in the game and run around and do whatever content you like to do. We kind of do everything. Um, you know, we are here to facilitate what the people in the guild um, really want to do. Um, so that's kind of, who I am, where I come from, kind of what my reasoning behind starting the guild, and my reasoning behind, kind of putting myself out there and doing this. The internet's not a friendly place. I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to not have very nice comments about this video, or about what my plan is, or what I want to do with this channel. And there was a time in my life where that's what I would focus on. I don't care. Please feel free to comment. Every comment is an opportunity for me to grow, and for me to grow the guild, whether it is a positive comment or it's a negative comment. So I welcome them. I want to see them. So what are my plans? Where would I like to see this thing go? So short term, I want to build up the guild in ESO. I want to build up our presence on Discord. I want to start publishing content that illustrates gameplay, illustrates some of the builds that I use, some of the other content providers that I like to listen to, or I like communicating with. And put some content out there myself about what's going on with the game, what's going on in gaming in general, what's going on with the community ESO, what's going on, with other communities when we eventually expand, which is one of the long-term goals. Long-term goals are to branch out into other games, into tabletop gaming. I love playing D&D. I don't currently have a group because I just moved to another part of the country, so I would like to put a group together. I would like to, meet new people. If you're interested in helping us, or interested in joining the community, but you don't play online video games, that doesn't. Jump into Discord. We can just communicate and talk. If there is something that you like doing that I'm not aware of, we can integrate that into the community. If you're a really good GM, or a really good GM who would like to come in and kind of help us with Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop gaming and other MMOs and other role-playing games, console gaming, things like that, please feel free to contact me. I'm going to put all the contact information down in the description of the video. Please feel free to contact me. We're on multiple platforms. We have email, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, and we're going to grow into other platforms as well. But if you're interested if you think, hey, this guy might have a good idea, he might be onto something, I would love to help. Please contact us. I'd be more than happy to have somebody come in and help me build this thing into what I think it could be, which is something very great, and a way to facilitate a little bit of what I've gotten out of it for other people. And if you simply just want to join and sit in the corner and listen to what's going on for a while, do that. Join our Discord. Um, Join me on Twitter. Watch me stream on Twitch. Um, you know, uh, you don't have to be extremely vocal in order to, be part of the community. Come in and introduce yourself. Come into the Discord and talk. Say, hey, look, I think you guys have a really good concept. I would like to see this. Maybe you guys could branch out into this. This is something that I like to do. Um, I'm completely and totally open to making this thing, letting this thing be whatever it's going to be, and I think that's mostly going to be facilitated by the people that are in the community. Um, so feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone, uh, and uh, amongst above everything else. Um, I would like to say a thank you for listening to the video, especially if you've lasted the entire time while I'm rambling on here. Uh, I'm very happy that you would take your precious time, which is something I want to talk about real quick. Uh, with the whole COVID-19 and the kind of world being on pause right now, um, I see it as an opportunity to start this, and an opportunity for us, just as people, to get to know each other better. Talk to your neighbors across the fence. Just make sure you're 6 feet apart. um, Go upstairs and talk to your family members if you're like me and you spend all your time down in the basement gaming or in another room. Um, Take this time to make those connections. With the people that are in your life that you don't connect enough with. If you do that, I promise you, your life will be more meaningful. What's an hour or two away from whatever it is that you think is so important to go hang out with your kids and watch a movie? To make sure you're there to tuck them into bed. Those are the things that I do that kind of help keep me grounded. So take this opportunity while the world is on pause. Uh, you know, um, Try to obey the social distancing guidelines. Check out the CDC website or, you know, the World Health Organization, and see what their guidelines are on what you should do to stay safe, because that's the most important thing. Stay safe. But while you're staying safe and while you're taking this time, uh, take some of your time and spend it with those uh, people that you may not spend enough time with. In the long run, the only thing you really can take with you when this is all over is the memories that you've built throughout your lifetime. So make them good. And that's I'll get off my soapbox, but you know I hope everyone has an opportunity to take some time and do that. Again, thank you so much for listening to me. Check out my channel. I hope to put content out every couple weeks and more frequently. As I come up with more ideas of what exactly to do on the channel. But thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I hope that everyone is staying safe, and I'll see you in the next video.